Hi, this is the summarization of chapter 10 of the different kinds of dysarthrias. Um, although many people do not only have one type of dysarthrias, um, the damage that causes dysarthria is often not confined to a single component of the speech system, and then as a result the dysarthria would be mixed, and that just means that it's a combination of more than two systems, and mixed dysarthrias are common. They account for 29.9% of all dysarthrias and 27.9% of all motor speech disorders. Oof, having trouble talking today. But sorting out the individual components of a mixed dysarthria can be difficult. It was just talking about the speech path and how it would be useful for setting a range of expectations for the types of dysarthrias so that when it's present, neurological diagnosis is relatively unambiguous for identifying the mixed dysarthrias and incompatible with particular neurological diagnoses. Other things, mixed dysarthrias can be caused by many conditions that damage more than one part of the nervous system. And I thought it was interesting how the book talked about that spastic dysarthria is by far the most common type that is associated with the mixed dysarthrias. And inintelligibility is often affected in mixed dysarthrias. Whew, tongue twisters. Sorry. Patients with mixed dysarthrias, excluding those with ALS, frequently have associated cognitive deficits, which is another thing that's really interesting to me just because a couple months ago I did some research on ALS, and so seeing the combination of the two. Even though mixed dysarthrias reflect damage to more than one component of the motor system, like I previously talked about, they are fairly frequently presenting complaint amongst the earliest manifestations of a neurological disease, and then accurate recognition of the components can aid the localization and diagnosis of the neurological disease and may contribute to medical and behavioral management of that affected individual, which I thought was incredibly interesting. And then a number of diseases are relatively associated with damage to specific parts of the nervous system. The types of mixed dysarthrias encountered in them are somewhat predictable. So it would be best exemplified by the mixed spastic flaccid dysarthria that is classically associated with ALS. And the book gave percentages of each dysarthria. I'm trying to think. On, I think it was table 10.8, maybe it was 10.1, and I found that to be super interesting just because you could see the comparisons and the different numbers, so that put it also into perspective for me. So yeah, that's my summary.